Hello, everyone. Welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. My name is Cyndy. Thank you so much for being here. You're going to be seeing this on October the 10th. So, in fact, today I'm going to do 3 mini readings in one because what I want to look at is Trump and the law, Trump and his money, and Trump and his freedom. So unless the cards start telling me the entire story in one go, I'm going to break it up. So let's just quickly shuffle the cards and see what's going on here. Thank you so much for being here, for your support. I really, really do appreciate it. Hope you all had a good weekend. Crazy things are happening in the world. The whole war that has been started in Israel is horrendous. Of course, the war continues in Ukraine. There was, I think, an earthquake in Afghanistan. It was a rocky weekend, and astrologers who know actually what they're talking about had sort of warned that it was going to be one of those kinds of weekends. I'm not sure, but a couple of planets were sort of fighting with each other. They were in harsh something squares or something. I don't know. So definitely, this was sort of a weekend where there was a lot of anger, anger in the energy. Okay, and I do want to remind you, right? Don't get so drawn into this that your own energy vibration starts to drop. You need to do whatever it is you need to do to keep your vibration high, whether that is listening to music you love or watching funny, movies or TV shows, taking a walk, whatever it is, but keep your energy high because the more sort of toxic and angry it gets out there, the more important it is that we keep ourselves stable because when we are filled with light, our light radiates out and it creates a calming energy. And for those of you who took part in the guided meditations that we did before the 2020 election, you'll know this, that like attracts like. And so when your energy is up and vibrant, it attracts that exactly same energy. Well, that happens in manifestation, but it also happens sort of globally. So when you're bright and vibrant and strong and positive, it will join up with that exact same energy that's circulating out there. And, that is how it grows and becomes so powerful and strong. So do keep that in mind. The crazier things are going to get, the more important it's going to be to really, just take care of yourself. Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to ask all three and then we'll see what happens because it'll focus in on one of them or maybe it'll give me all three. So here we go. Trump, legal, money, freedom. Legal, money, freedom, legal, money, freedom. Interesting cards, I have to tell you. He's starting off with the Nine of Cups, and sitting underneath that is the Ten of Pentacles. Now, you would think, oh my goodness, these are amazing, amazing cards. But don't forget, the Ten of Pentacles is really very often about money, generational money, corporate money. So this really is at the base of everything he is and everything he is about. For him, it is always, always Six of Wands about him being the best, him having the best, him being better than everybody else. So this is the energy around him, right? He's got the Nine of Cups, where he is, just focused on fulfilling his emotional need, and his need is to be recognized, to be viewed as better than, like, everything and everybody, right? He knew more than the generals. He knows more than any other world leader. He just knows everything about everything. And that is that energy that he carries around with him. What's happening now is that a whole bunch of those secrets are starting to be exposed. And he's starting to recognize that people are changing their perceptions of him. Now, okay, all you guys who are watching this, they're saying, like, yeah, no, we never had to change our perceptions. They were always right in the first place. But the people around him are really, really, the people that support him are starting to sort of question. Yeah, now listen, I'm not talking about the magas, okay, because they're just going to do what they're going to do. But I'm talking about other Republicans who sort of, plugged their noses and voted. Those are the people who are going, no more, we can't do it, we can't support this. He is destroying the party, he's destroying the country, etc., etc. So he's becoming slowly aware of the fact that that support for him is not as strong as it was. He is losing the support of big donors. And it's interesting because it feels almost as if the big donors have just sort of pulled away from kind of everybody. They're kind of waiting to see if anybody with a brain shows up, right? I mean, they pulled back from DeSantis, they pulled back from Trump. And as of right now, nobody is really shining. I have to say, energetically, this is just a bit of a sidetrack, but energetically, Nikki Haley might have a really good chance, except for the GOP is a old white male network. And I'm not sure if those really staunch Republican voters are quite ready for a Madam President. I don't know. All right, focus back in. So his delusions, his fantasies are starting to crumble. And so the legality, the stuff, Eight of Swords, Eight of Wands. So between the Seven of Cups and the Eight of Wands, what you have here is this stuff is coming at him so fast and so furiously. He's not winning with the law, right? He's not getting away with anything with Judge Shutkin. He's not getting away with anything with that judge who's now currently dealing with the business case, the Tish James case. Bonnie Wills has not backed down. He now has at least one person who's sort of, one of his co-defendants who has pled guilty and said, I'll take a deal. So slowly but surely, he's starting to see, and this is the thing you got to realize with him, is that it's all an illusion. He really is like the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. It's all an illusion. And what he's finding is with all of these losses, and they are being talked about because the court isn't backing down. They're not giving him this, they're not giving him that. He's starting to recognize that, somebody's going to start to peek behind the curtain. And it's really starting to penetrate. Because this is the thing with Trump, right? You never quite know exactly how much he's actually absorbing because he spends so much time in this altered reality. But he is now in a place of fear, and he's afraid of two things. Well, he's afraid of three things. He's afraid of losing all his money. He's afraid of his name being tarnished. Like, wow, it's a little bit behind the eight ball on that one. And he's afraid of going to jail or something like that, that kind of restriction. And so he's not in a good way. He charges ahead. He's trying to, with the screaming at the cameras outside courtrooms. Well, it comes right down to it. It's starting to register that he's not going to come out ahead in a significant number of these legal battles. The only one who's cutting him any slack is Judge Eileen Cannon, and we know that whole story, right? She's going to do whatever she can. I think it's interesting, and the documents case is an important case because that was really where that significant security breach came from. But the other cases pretty much are all going to take place before they get there. And so long before they get to that documents case, which I am positive she's trying to shove into 2026 somewhere, his fate is already going to be sealed. Okay. He is up against force that he can't win against. Part of his success was always that he either had enough money or he had the illusion of enough money, or I guess he paid his lawyers at least enough so they would keep on working for him in the past. And his deal then was delay and just literally wear whoever was suing him down. He would just delay things, and it would drain whatever resources the people who were going after him had. Except now he's finding out that, you know what? That trick doesn't work so well when who is suing him is the state and the federal government. He's figuring out real fast that they have actually more resources than him. And furthermore, any leniency that he might have enjoyed in the past because of the name is not there for him. Okay, so he rarely has become the emperor with no clothes. All right, so as far as legalities, he's going to continue to stay in a really sort of defensive posture, but slowly but surely, the more stuff that comes out, the more he is really starting to recognize that just being defensive and blustering isn't going to get what he wants. It has worked for a whole lot of years for him in New York, but now it's not working for him, and he's not going to get what he wants. So I just want to ask the energies who I channel when it comes to Trump and that situation. I just want to ask them, when it comes to his legal peril, how's that looking for him? What's going on there? Okay, so there was recently a stay that sort of just froze the whole kind of liquidating of his business assets and I guess taking the licenses away. But it's just on hold, and I don't believe it's on hold for a short time. He's trying to appeal something. That's not going to work for him. And I am hearing that. Oh, okay. So they've just showed me literally, the Trump Tower, when a building is being brought down, they're demolishing a building and it just implodes in on itself. That's literally what they're showing me. So as far as his legal exposure, particularly right now in the New York case, he is going to find that he is really going to be absolutely bleeding, gushing, whatever financial reserves he has. And yes, he has very faithful followers who just believe every single word he says, and they are going to keep sending him money. And the problem is that they're not going to be able to send him enough. So I'm looking at the number that keeps showing me um, $275 million. So I don't know if that ends up being the penalty that he has to pay, but it looks like the business, by and large, is just going to be destroyed. I think somewhere down the line they're going to start something up in Florida, but he's gonna have lost his creds. Okay, so that doesn't look good. Um, you can expect from Judge Shutkin. I think that trial, if I'm not mistaken, is on the 16th, where his lawyers have to come to court and explain how come the things Trump does when he threatens people aren't threats. So that's not going to go over well. I am seeing a monetary fine. I am seeing the threat of the trial being moved up, and she is going to put him on a really short leash. That is also another case that he is not going to win. And even if he had 4 people on the jury who were his fans, he still wouldn't win it, because they're telling me that the evidence is simply overwhelming. So that case, we're looking kind of springtime. So right now I think it's scheduled for March 4th. That may get moved up a little bit, but I think once she lays down the law, he's not going to settle down, but he's going to tone it down a little bit, because his lawyers are going to say, listen, buddy, you're going to end up, in jail before the trial if you don't smarten up. She's not playing with you. So that one doesn't look so good. The Georgia one, I'm seeing a few more. They're telling me there's going to be at least another 3 or 4, maybe 5 co-defendants who are going to plead guilty, back away. And that one's going to move forward. And again, that seems to be a situation where it's not going to just sort of really go well for him. He has the death card representing his legal issues. Okay, so I think that kind of says it all. All right, I'm going to pull some cards. I want to look at money, because, of course, that is his everything. I mean, it just is. It's the only thing he cares about besides himself. It's the only thing he loves besides himself. And so with the New York thing, as he really starts realizing that empire is being depleted, this is where you're going to see some real, I don't know, shifts, behavior shifts. I think he's going to become even more erratic. The more erratic he becomes, the tighter the legal screws tighten. Okay. So, and the reality is, I mean, even though he almost never spends his own money, on his legal fees anyways, but it very much feels like, his reserves are going to be really, really depleted. Take a look. Trump money trajectory, Trump money trajectory, Trump money trajectory. He intends to go down fighting, okay? He's going to push against this as hard as he can. His emotions, his behavior, more and more erratic, okay? He's going to do what he does to kind of keep his base all fired up and angry, but I don't actually see it working for him. There's going to be some information that comes out that really, Ace of Wands, that really sort of kneecaps him. That's sort of what they're saying. They're saying it's going to kneecap him. He's going to not have a good way to recover what he has lost. He also has the Four of Swords here. Now, I've been saying for a while, oh look, and the Ten of Pentacles came up. Okay, so this is the Empire going down. And the Empire is his money. It's his finances, okay? It's his brand. He's going to discover that he really doesn't have anywhere to turn. I think it is going to be the loss of the money that is going to impact his health the most strongly. I was asked recently by somebody if, just point blank, is he ever going to see the inside of a jail cell? And I mean, the answer at this point is no. It's no for two reasons. One is he's going to appeal and appeal and appeal. And so that's going to keep him out of jail if there is a jail sentence indicated. But more, I got to tell you, his health is not good. And I'm kind of concerned that he may not be here to actually put in jail. The loss of his money is going to be, I think, what does him in, because his money, his brand, his name, this is everything. And as that gets stripped away, not only from the business world, but from legal cases, from literally Republicans turning their back on him, and they will. It feels like there's just so much more going on behind the scenes that we're just not privy to. But it really does feel like the ones who blindly follow him are going to fall off the cliff with him. But a lot of people are just going to really start turning their backs on him. The judgments are going to be too harsh. And I don't think he's actually going to be able to recover from it almost. The New York case doesn't concern him in terms of jail, because he's not going to get sent to jail on that one, right? This is like civil, and this is like you pay a bunch of fines, okay, like his buildings are going to implode, et cetera, et cetera. But that one doesn't concern him. In terms of jail time, it concerns him in really big ways in terms of his money, his finances, his name, his reputation, his brand. But he knows he's not going to jail for that one. The Tower. So what concerns him are the two cases around the election. So the January 6th and the Georgia one. That's where he's most frightened, because this is about his freedom, right? It scares him. It really does worry him. He's trying to be so brave. But nobody with a thinking brain in their head thinks that, I'm facing decades of jail time. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. Nobody believes that. That's just stupid to say. It actually really makes you realize how few brain cells are rolling around in there, for goodness sakes. All right. Trump personal freedom, Trump personal freedom, Trump personal freedom. And yes, and let's not forget, if he actually does get sent to jail, he's got his 6 Secret Service people with him. So he's not going to get thrown into some jail in general population. Okay, that's not going to happen. Um, yeah. Okay. So as far as his personal freedoms, and that's of course the second big thing that really frightens him, right? If he doesn't have his money and he doesn't have his status, his brand, the only thing he really has left is his personal freedom. And that does not look like it's going to go very well for him. There's definitely an energy around it. Like, I don't know. It just, as the time goes by, less and less do I see him in jail, and more do I see him kind of not being around. Um, okay, so look, you've got justice, you've got the wheel of fortune, you've got judgment. It's not, it is his biggest fear, frankly. It is what we, the people, want. We want to see that balance. We want to see him treated exactly the way everybody else is treated. But it's not looking like that's quite going to happen now. If something were to happen to him, I mean, I don't know if legally they can do this, but um, certainly the Georgia case, um, even if he's not around, there's a whole bunch of other people involved in that who are going down. And so if they go down, so does he, whether he's sort of physically here or not. Um, we want to see that equal justice for all. I get it, I understand. But what can you tell me, Spirit? It feels like um even if there's a jail sentence, it by time he it goes through all of the appeals, um, I don't know. It doesn't look good. And that's sort of what I'm going to say about that. The other thing that's interesting, they told me when I was getting ready to do this reading, was that it's possible that there is something going on with the documents case out of New York. Excuse me. Um, like the writing's on the wall with the one in Florida, right? I mean, she's going to do everything she can to delay it, et cetera, et cetera. But it feels almost like there is another card or strategy that Jack is playing very, very close to the vest. So I don't think we're going to hear about that really soon. But don't be surprised if somewhere down the road, oh look, there's a January 6th indictment, or sorry, a documents case indictment coming out of Washington. Did I say New York? No, Washington. For things that went on while he was in the White House, while he was packing stuff up. That part of the crime took place in Washington. So there's that. So based on what I'm feeling, based on what I'm being told, based on what the cards are saying, it feels like at the end of the day, Trump loses legally. He loses his money, his brand, and his name. And ultimately, his freedom is going to be impacted somehow. And you know what? I know we all, there's all that little part of us that just really wants to see him sort of punished. But think about what his life review is going to be like. And he's going to have to feel all the feelings that he created and caused in all the people. Can you imagine going through a life review and having to feel, I don't know, 50,000 or 50 million people's fear that he triggered? The destruction and devastation that he caused with people along the way, the deaths that he has blood on his hands from because he was too vain to want to wear a mask and promote basic safety. Hang on to them. All right. Thank you very, very much for being here. Take good care of yourselves. And I will look forward to seeing you soon. Until then, take care and be well.